For our top story this hour, we look to the U.S. Justice Department, which says it has arrested an alleged spy from China, accusing Beijing of attempting to steal secrets related to U.S. aviation companies. U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Ohio, Benjamin Glassman, announced U.S. agents detained Chinese citizen Zhu Yanjun in Belgium earlier this week.
According to the indictment, Zhu is a deputy division director in the Zhengzhou province of the Chinese Ministry of State Security, or MSS. The MSS is the Intelligence and Security Agency for China. It's responsible for counterintelligence, foreign intelligence, and political security. One of Zhu's job duties was to obtain technical information, including trade secrets, from aviation and aerospace companies in the United States and Europe.
U.S. officials claim Zhu and other MSS officers attempted to recruit employees at American and European aviation companies, such as GE Aviation, to share trade secrets. The Washington Post reports Zhu was arrested after federal agents lured him to Belgium. Authorities claim his arrest marks the first time a Chinese government spy will face charges in the United States. China responded to the news by denying U.S. accusations.
The U.S. accusation is something made out of thin air. We hope the U.S. will deal with it fairly in accordance with law and ensure the legitimate rights and interests of the Chinese citizens.
Zhu's arrest comes just days after U.S. Vice President Mike Pence accused Beijing of engaging in the, quote, wholesale theft of American technology during a speech at the pro-war Hudson Institute. While announcing Zhu's arrest, Glassman appeared to echo Pence's remarks.
Whether they're small, medium, or large, and in every field from aviation to agriculture, companies should see that Chinese officials are seeking to acquire their intellectual property not only through hacking, but also through the recruitment of insiders.
With Chinese spying in question, for some analysis, we turn to organizer with the Anti-War Answer Coalition, Nino Brown. He's in Boston. Nino, this announcement comes amid intensifying trade war tensions between the U.S. and China, and as I mentioned, just days after Vice President Mike Pence made these accusations against China. Is the timing here suspicious to you at all?
Yes, I think they're very suspicious given the overall context. The FBI and the CIA have declared that China is in a new Cold War thinking, which is absolutely false. Given the economic trade war, the $250 billion tariffs that have only hurt the workers of China and the United States. So in the context of this is really just another ploy, another way to frame China as this evil regime of which the United States, the so-called good guys, have to crack down and stop.
What are these accusations that China wants to steal U.S. technology even based on?
So the basis for that is that in China, since 1978, under the leadership of Deng Xiaoping, China has been opening up. And one of the components of their opening up policy is that there is a significant technology transfer. So that technology transfer, it allows China to essentially build up their own indigenous and independent technologies through learning and through application of what they learn from the West, Western financial corporations. So the fear is that China has grown too strong now, that China is rivaling the United States economically, politically, internationally, with their recent exchanges with Latin America and the FOCAC in Africa. So China is growing and it's not stopping, and it's alarming. It's frightening to the U.S. ruling class here and their organs. So it's really based in a politics of fear, and it's based in the fact that the United States is declining as a imperialist power.
And this, of course, China gets this technology transfer in exchange for labor, which it provides U.S. corporations. So these corporations, no one's holding a gun to their head and forcing them to share this information with China. The mainstream media is already running with headlines saying a Chinese spy has been arrested, much like they did with Russian national Maria Butina earlier this year, despite the fact neither of those individuals have been charged with, or rather found guilty of espionage. Why do you think the mainstream media and press is so willing to accept the line on these stories?
Well, I mean, the mainstream media will go with whatever sells. And we know that fear sells in this country. That most of these headlines, they're not based on any rational thought. They're not based on any objective facts. And the media, as we have in the United States, it's really owned and operated and run by financial interests that are in bed with the Pentagon, right? So we know that these media headlines and some of these journalists, they take their marching orders from the Pentagon, from the White House. So in essence, it's not really even news. It's really just whatever the White House and the Pentagon thinks. So they really act to justify and bolster U.S. foreign policy, irrespective of whether it's factual or not.
And that's certainly been the case with this latest arrest of an alleged Chinese spy. The question will now be whether or not Mr. Zhu can even receive a fair trial in this country. Nino Brown, thanks so much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.